Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel where I cover everything mommy and lifestyle. In today's video, it's going to be a little bit different than the usual videos that I film. It's going to be more of a story time. So for today's story time, I'm going to be going into getting pregnant so young, and the pros and the cons of it, and whether we regret our decision. So for those of you who don't know, I did get pregnant when I was 20 years old, and it actually was a planned pregnancy. Many people think that when you get pregnant so young, it automatically has to be a mistake, or an oopsie, or a surprise, but ours, we actually sat down and we planned about it, we talked about it, and we decided that it's something that we both wanted to do and that we were both ready for. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. I'm going to start off in the beginning, and then how we got to where we are right now. For those of you who don't know, I am pregnant. I'm about 36 weeks, so about ready to give birth, thank God, to my little baby boy. So it all starts off on a snowy December night. Jokes, I have no idea if it was snowy or not. I have no idea. It was beginning of December, and we sat down and we talked about it, and we actually went over everything. So we went over all of our finances. We asked each other whether we were ready, whether we were in a good spot in our relationship, and planned that all out. We planned out what our plan was going to be for everything in terms of jobs and living situations and everything like that. And we sort of came up with a plan. And our plan was not to get pregnant so fast. We thought that we were gonna, be trying for a couple of months and then it would happen. But it actually turned out that it happened the very first time that we tried, which was very shocking to us. So when I found out that I was pregnant, it was a late night. I'm actually going to make a video on exactly going into more depth of how I found out that I was pregnant. But basically I found out when I was pretty early on, about 2 weeks in, and it was honestly a fluke that I found out that I was pregnant. And we remember being very, very, very shocked that we were pregnant. I remember going in to Jake's room and showing him the pregnancy test, and we both just looked at each other. We were like, oh my god, we're gonna have a baby. And it was pretty darn crazy and honestly very scary. Although we did plan it, finding out about the baby and finding out that there was a baby and everything, their whole lives were gonna change. It was honestly pretty scary. And because we were so young, we were scared to tell our parents. My parents honestly weren't even that shocked because they knew that I had wanted a baby for as long as they could remember. But Jake's family was definitely going to be super, super shocked about all of it. So fast forward a couple of weeks, we are now in I call it fight or flight mode, because we had to figure out everything a lot faster than we thought we were going to have to. Fun fact, when I actually found out that I was pregnant, I was still in university. I was in my last semester of university, because I was so young when I got pregnant. So I still had to finish off my last semester. So that was definitely really hard. Let me know in the comment section below if you want me to talk about going to school and going to classes and trying to juggle work and school and being pregnant in the first trimester, because it definitely was a freaking handful, I'm not even gonna lie. Although we did sort of kind of plan it, we both were still living with our parents at the time and not together, so we were like, okay, we need to find out how to get a place together so that we can raise our little boy. We wanted to definitely have a place of our own and not live with our parents and not rely on our parents. So we started looking. We were originally looking to rent a place, but both of our jobs, I'm a waitress and he is a chef. A lot of what we make is tips, and tips aren't recognized in terms of how much you technically make. So what we could be approved for rent was a lot lower than what we were expecting, and basically you can't afford anything in the area that we live in. We live in the Toronto area, so it is extremely expensive. So we ended up having to buy a place, which honestly worked out amazingly. We bought a 2-bedroom condo, which is what we are in right now. It is a little bit smaller than what we were expecting. It's about just under 800 square feet, I believe. It is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. We are used to growing up in the suburbs, so we're used to a lot of space and lots of rooms, dedicated rooms for offices, and basements where you can store a whole bunch of things, and garages where you can organize all your tools and stuff. And for us, we have less than 800 square feet and a tiny little storage locker in the basement. So it was definitely an adjustment getting used to the smaller living, but honestly, it's not that bad. We can't complain. We live in a great area. We love our place. In terms of jobs, as soon as I graduated, so I graduated when I was about 3 or 4 months, I believe, pregnant. Yeah, 3 or 4 months. And then I became a full-time waitress, and then I also did a little bit of the accounting for the restaurant that I did work at. And then Jake actually ended up getting some promotions and raises, so all of that worked out as well, because we honestly didn't anticipate having to buy a place. So a lot of our savings was used up for buying this place. So the fact that we did get all those promotions and everything was amazing. And definitely me working full-time helped out a lot. In terms of our relationship, I don't think it put a damper on anything. I mean, we'll see once he gets here. I heard that things can get pretty tense because we're both very sleep deprived. But as of right now, I honestly think that it has made our relationship a lot stronger. And I'm honestly very surprised just how everything has turned out between us. Honestly, getting pregnant so young, we were only dating for about a year at the time. So both of those things combined is like a recipe for disaster when getting pregnant, and adding all this extra stress of where we're gonna live, and I was still in school, so we were under a lot of stress in terms of like our relationship, but we honestly came out stronger on the other side. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. We both stood by each other's side and supported each other through everything. So baby, if you're watching this, I love you. Now, in terms of did we regret our decision to get pregnant so young? No. I can speak for myself when I say no. I also believe that Jake's answer to that would be no. We both decided when we met each other that being pregnant or getting pregnant young and having a young family was something that we both wanted. We actually discussed that about a month into our relationship, you know, when you're discussing how many kids do you want and all of that fun stuff. So we both decided that being young and having a young family and having the energy to raise that family is something that we both wanted. But we also both decided that as long as we have the money to support it, we're both emotionally ready, we're ready in our relationship, all of that. As long as all of those things were in line, we were ready to have a baby, and that's why we decided to have a baby so quickly and so young. There are things that you do miss out on, 100%. I'm gonna miss out on all those years of living at home and working and saving up all my money if that was the route that I decided to go. I see a lot of my friends right now don't really have any cares in the world. They're just spending all the money that they make on traveling, and they're not worried about, you know, saving up for a house or having to pay rent and mortgage and all of that. So that definitely is a little bit of a bummer. They're very careless and carefree and buying all these expensive things, going on all these trips, traveling and all of that. So that's something that we do miss out on. However, going out to clubs and drinking and partying and traveling is actually not something that, besides traveling, drinking and partying, I've never really had a desire for. So I'm actually kind of glad that I got pregnant and now I have an excuse not to go out and drink because I don't like it. But long story short, do I regret getting pregnant so young? Absolutely not. Do I recommend it? I mean, if you're in a good spot financially, emotionally, you and your partner are secure, all of that, and it's something that you guys both want, then yes. If you want to do it, go ahead. There's no reason why you shouldn't. Society tells you that you should have kids when you're like 30 plus, you know, you get married at 30 and you have kids at 35 and whatever, you have your 2 point whatever kids. I've never really been a fan of the whole traditional route to everything, so I decided to go against it and kind of say a huge FU to the system. But yeah, so if all of those things are lined up for you and your partner, go ahead. Yeah, but just understand that your life is going to change. It's going to change a lot. You're going to have to grow up really, really, really fast. And if that's something that you're okay with, then go ahead. Honestly, being pregnant and feeling the baby move inside of me and picking out names and doing the nursery and all of that stuff, it makes it all worth it. And I know when I hold him, I'm going to be so, so, so excited. So yeah, that's kind of our story. It wasn't a really in-depth story of what we did and all the planning behind it and how we figured it out and how we found out and all of that fun stuff. But I can make a video on that, and I probably will make a video on that. And we'll also get Jake in here to hear his side of the story as well. So if you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to click that red subscribe button down below if you are not already subscribed, and to hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thank you guys, and thank you for following my journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.